Hey everyone, so I'm here with my colleagues Hillary Campbell and Whitney Vela. Hillary oversees the Comet Cupboard, and Whitney oversees the Cometcents program. Fun fact, when I was a freshman at UT Dallas in 2012, I was in the office of a finance professor who was brainstorming this idea about money management and budgeting tips for students. And he came across the name Common Sense, and he asked me, "What do you think about that?" And I was like, "It rolls right off the tongue." And the rest is history. That was in 2012, and here we are, a little like almost a decade later. So we'll start with the cupboard. Hillary, thank you so much for joining us today for First Generation Family Orientation. If you would please just tell us a little bit about the services that are offered at the Common Cupboard.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for having me, Derek. I'm really excited about this opportunity to communicate with our first gen families. I did not know that story from 2012 and Comet Cent, so that's a fun one to hear. And I think also a good segue into the Comet Cupboard because the Comet Cupboard also started in 2012. That's when we kicked things off. The Comet Cupboard is our on-campus food pantry at UT Dallas. It's available to all currently enrolled students, and we offer services year-round. The service was also, this is another fun fact, the first university food pantry established in the state of Texas. So we're very proud of that. We kicked off that trend, and it's a good trend. We're happy to see that reflected in institutions kind of all over the state that they followed in our footsteps there. So we year-round, even during the pandemic, we operated fully during the pandemic. We offer food. We offer personal care supplies, toiletries, that type of thing. We offer some household goods to, like I said earlier, all currently enrolled students at UTD. We had limited services during the pandemic, but we're opening back up to more of our normal operations as soon as the fall semester starts. So we provide those services for students, but we also provide a really good volunteer service opportunity for our undergraduate students. So it's one of the very few opportunities for students to volunteer and serve their peers on the physical campus. Makes it very convenient for those who are living on campus or who don't necessarily have easy access to transportation. It's kind of right there. Again, in the fall, we'll be back to normal operations, so we'll be open every day, giving students the opportunity to serve their peers every day. So it's got a dual role.
That's wonderful. And I'd like to buttress your point and just highlight the volunteer and service spirit that the cupboard facilitates. Here at UT Dallas and in the Office of Undergraduate Education, we have a very strong spirit of service to our students. And through first generation student programs, we're able to collectively put in many volunteer hours. Students get to collaborate with each other to serve each other and their communities. And the Common Cupboard is just another way that our students get involved here on campus. And so we think that is a fantastic opportunity for students, and it is a wonderful service for all students to use. In the spirit of utilizing the service, Hillary, what tips do you have for families who are watching to encourage their students to utilize services like the Common Cupboard?
Well, I think the most important thing is just being aware that the service exists. We are fairly accessible. We're located in the ground floor or the basement level of the university library, the McDermott Library. And I think it's important that families just know that this service is available. We believe, and we can see this backed by research, a student can't learn if they're hungry, and a student can't learn if they're worried about being hungry. So if food insecurity factors in, flashes through a student's mind even temporarily, that can compromise their academic outcomes. And that's why we're there. We don't want a student to have to choose between books or attending a study session or completing an assignment and food. So that's why we're there. And I think just having the awareness of where we are and why we're there, why we do what we do, I think is probably the biggest step. And then kind of talking with your student about this service, encouraging them to use it. It is a highly used service. Outside of the pandemic was a little different, but in a normal year, we are serving 3,500 to 4,000 students a year. So it is a widely used service. And so just making sure that students understand that this is a popular thing to do. It's highly accessible. That's the best thing that families can do. And also just kind of reiterate to students that food insecurity can look different with people, right? There's no kind of poster child, so to speak, for food insecurity, particularly on a college campus. All you need is your student ID and to be enrolled in classes, and that's it. We don't ask any other questions. We don't do any needs assessment beyond that. We just offer this service to all currently enrolled students. Just show up with your Comet card. So letting parents know that that this is very accessible, I think, is probably the best tool for them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. And, we have a saying is that we promote a hunger-free UTD, and the cupboard is continuing to grow. The volunteer base is strong, and I'm just so proud to have you as one of my colleagues as we help serve and support our first-generation students and their families. Hillary, is there anything else that you'd like to add about the Comet Cupboard?
Well, Derek, thank you. It's a privilege to work with you too, and a privilege to be able to partner with First Generation Programming at UT Dallas. It is an exciting group. Whenever they reach out and they ask us to do anything, we're always happy to say yes. So I just kind of look forward to more and more partnerships with First Generation Programming, particularly something like this. I think outreach to the families is very important, and excited to be a part of that. I want to say that we are on social media. So we're most active on Instagram. We do all types of things over there. So if you want to find out really what we're up to prior to a student arriving at UTD, or maybe in lieu of an actual physical visit to the facility, I would definitely check things out on Instagram. We've got all kinds of videos there, training videos for volunteers. We have cooking demonstrations. We have contests. We do polls. We do lots of infographics to talk about awareness of college food insecurity and how it affects academic outcomes for students. So we're super active there. I would say that that's kind of our best digital footprint of the program. And then if you want to dig a little bit deeper, go to our website. So that's very accessible, Comet Cupboard at UT Dallas. Can find us over on our website. That's got some updated information as well, and it dives a little bit more deeply into our day-to-day processes. Also provides the opportunity for a student who wants to volunteer in the cupboard to do that as well. And when it comes to the volunteering, it isn't just being trained on how to distribute food and personal care items to UT Dallas students. We certainly have that. That's a daily thing. But we also have a new community garden on campus, big community garden plot. So we've got lots of volunteers that are out doing that. So if you like to get your hands dirty, get close to the earth, then we've got those opportunities as well. We've created many virtual opportunities for volunteering. And many of these will continue even after things resume, go back to more normal functions on campus. So we've got kind of incidental type volunteering opportunities as well. We have many events throughout the year, but we need people out there to help us hype the Comet Cupboard, help inform people about food insecurity at colleges. We need people to lift boxes and shelf food. We need people to drive. We've got all types of opportunities for engaging in service work. So it goes beyond just sort of those shifts in the cupboard where you distribute food. So we've just got a lot going on.
That is fantastic. Again, you can follow the Comet Cupboard on Instagram. Their Instagram handle just appeared at the bottom of the screen here, along with the website where you can visit the Comet Cupboard at any time. Thank you so much, Hillary. We're super excited, and we're excited to be welcoming our incoming first-generation students here to UT Dallas.
Yes, welcome to UTD.
Awesome. So at the beginning of the program today, I mentioned that this year was a special one for me in particular because it is the 10-year mark since I started my journey here at UT Dallas when I was a freshman stepping onto the campus for the very first time. With that came my very first financial aid package. And with that came my first opportunity to manage money beyond my summer job that I had previously. Luckily, we have the Common Sense program here at UT Dallas, and it is a great program that's been around for nearly 10 years as well. And here we have Whitney. And so, Whitney, if you would like to just tell us a little bit about the Common Sense program here at UT Dallas.
Well, thank you so much, Derek. And that was a great introduction to the Comet Cents program and a great little bit of history. So let me tell you a little bit more. The Comet Cents program is our money management center on campus. It's a free service to any student, which is another great thing, just like Hillary was talking about. So in our offices, we have a couple different ways that we're working with students. We have where we can meet with students individually and talk about where they're at in their financial journey, whether that is at the beginning aspect of, this is the first time I've ever managed my money and what do I do with it? Whether that is their financial journey of where they want to go. They just got their first job and planning for what those next steps are. So we take that really to heart and want to make sure that students are here and learn those skills all along the way. So we love that students are interested and want to come in and talk about that stuff. We also offer workshops to students. So you may see us for the very first time in your freshman seminar class. That's a great segue to be able to have an introduction to a little bit about what we do and just in a fun, interactive way about learning financial literacy. We also do some other services where we have a program called our Smart About Money series. And that is an awesome program where we have a small cohort that follows a 5-week workshop series. And we do this a couple times a semester. And it's a great opportunity for students really to kind of bond together and learn a little bit deeper about some of those financial literacy skills. And at the end of that, they receive a certificate and a great way to add something to their resume. So with that, we have also kind of taken that next step and want students to kind of go a little bit further and dig a little bit deeper into their financial literacy. We have lots of online programming where students can interact with different modules and different aspects of financial literacy, maybe things beyond the classroom of what we've taught them, or even ways to enhance and utilize some of those skills that we've already encouraged them to learn about. And then additionally, so kind of on a side note, something a little bit fun, maybe our students, just like our first gen students, are in an LLC. And maybe they want us to come specifically talk about something that's going on. And, you know, for the very first time, they're learning about credit cards, how these work. And or some students are really eager and want to learn about investing and or other topics, other financial literacy topics, or just a big broad spectrum. So this is an opportunity where students can come and ask us, or student groups or clubs or faculty and staff can come ask our office to have some of our services come and be presented to those groups. And this is a great opportunity that we really enjoy and can really customize those presentations specifically to the needs of our students. So not only is this something that we enjoy doing, but it's also something that we can really feel like we can kind of fit and mold something that will be beneficial to each individual group. So that's a little bit about our services. We also are housed in the library, just like Hillary, on that very first floor. So it's really easy. Students can access us on whenever they come into the library. We have where students can come in for walk-in appointments if they want to. If our door's open, we'd love to see you. Know that that's always an option. We have students that now that we have virtual aspects, we have students where they can make a virtual appointment and they can meet with us, you know, if that's a little bit more convenient for you, or if you commute and it's just really hard to navigate finding an appointment in your time of work and school and all of the other things that life has going on. Know that that's something that we'd be willing to work with you on that and find an appointment that works for you. And then, you know, we just want students to know that there are, you know, lots of capacities that we can help them. And it may not just be learning about one thing, but maybe even enhancing some of those financial skills. So that's a little bit about our services. And we'd love to see whether it's students and or sometimes it's parents just want a little bit of encouragement. And we have worksheets and information that we can give out to parents along the way too. Maybe this is the first time having a bank account for your student and really kind of navigating them through that process. So know that we have some resources that we can provide for parents and students.
I love that. And I love that you brought up involving students and their families as well, because I know that it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. You go into, at least it was for me, I got a financial aid refund. I'm like, my goodness, I never seen that amount of money in my life, for me personally. So being able to have the type of support from Common Sense to budget and make sure that we are utilizing the resources in an effective way is really, really encouraging and really empowering, both for our first generation students and their families. Another thing that our students will likely do is they may be preparing for a job, either an on-campus job or off-campus. Many of our first-generation students have jobs when they enter college for the first time, or when they transfer from community college. So, any advice that you have for families or students to support using the Common Sense program to support those endeavors as well?
Yeah, I mean, really, I think you hit it on the mark. Just like what you said a while ago, of whenever students are receiving, whether it's their financial aid package for the very first time, and or they just received that job offer for the very first time, and really navigating work life, school life, what that used to look like, what that looks like now, all of those capacities for each individual student, that will look different. And we want students to know that our office is definitely an office that we can sit down and explore those things with them. Everyone has a different financial journey and different financial goals, where you want your life to be. Some students, we have heard, I have in mind they don't want to take out any loans, but that may not be the choice that is available to everybody. That may not be the financial situation that is available to everyone. So we want students to know that whether it is they get that very first refund check, helping them navigate the best situation for them, whether it's initializing, starting that budget plan where you pay your essential needs first, and then let's see how much we have extra left over at the end of the day. And then where can we put those things? What are your financial goals? Where do you want those things to be? Really navigating that individually with them. But then also, kind of like you said, on the other side of that is, once you are graduating, once you get that first job, and or this is your first time to do work and school, even as a freshman, knowing that finding that fine balance of, how do I have enough money to be able to pay those essential bills that I need to pay, still be able to focus on school, make all of those ends meet. And sometimes that means, providing for your family as well. So really kind of navigating that whole balance and figuring out what is going to be the best situation for each individual is really, a main aspect of what Common Sense is about. So knowing that we want students to feel comfortable with being able to come to us to really navigate that process. And sometimes that's scary. Sometimes that's hard. And sometimes it's overwhelming to even know the right words to say, the right actions to take, and knowing that we want students to feel comfortable knowing that we are other students trying to help you along the way and navigate that path with you.
Awesome. And one of the things that I love to emphasize with our students is just like everything else that we experience in college, studying, time management, these are all skills. Financial and money management is also a skill that our students will build. And the Common Sense program is right there to support our students in building those skills. So thank you so much for joining us. Finally, where can we find you on social media and or other parts of the internet?
Yeah, thanks for asking. We also are housed on Facebook and on Instagram. Instagram probably have the most, active in social media preference. We will have all kinds of things like Hillary was mentioning too, from whether it is information about contests that are going on, or updates, or sign-up links for different events we have going on, workshops that are happening, all kinds of active information that's happening on campus. That's going to be where you can find all of that. And in addition, something I forgot to mention earlier is our students have also created a podcast where they provide financial literacy topics, tips, and references. So know that on any social media, on any podcast channel that you're using, Spotify, etc., know that you can find us there. And we're under Comet-Cents. and our podcast is widely used and heard, and just a little bit of fun. Our students have a great time recording that and being able to share their information with other students. And there's even one coming out very soon for first gen students. So we're excited, and we hope that we can share that link with you. And I know Derek will provide that as well. So social media for sure, Instagram, on Spotify, and like I said, other channels for our podcast. And then, of course, generalized information, hours, that type of thing will also be on our Comet Cents website through the university.
I love it. Thank you both so much for taking the time to join us today. Really appreciate it. And students, families, the Comet Cupboard and Comet Cents are here to support you and your growth here at UT Dallas. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before you go, hit that subscribe button, because this is just the beginning. We are just getting started here on the First Generation Comets YouTube channel, and we can't wait to share more. So hit that subscribe button, click on the bell to enable notifications, and we will see you here on campus. Have a great day, everybody.